Hello and welcome to Rando Tech Info and our review of the TicWatch Pro 3. And just some random information before we start rating things. If you're interested in my unboxing of this product, please feel free to go back and watch that video from a couple of weeks ago. And if you're interested in buying this product after you hear the review, you can pick it up for $2.99 right now from both Mobvoi's own website and from Bizon. So first, let's talk about the screen on this watch. And the screen is big, 1.4 inches big, which makes it the Note 20 Ultra of smartwatches. Not only big, but it's also beautiful. And with its dual layer screen technology, it's two screens in one. Not only does it have the pretty OLED screen that we're used to seeing on smartwatches, but it also has a second LCD screen that is great for conserving power and can be seen outdoors when you flip your wrist to light it up. I personally did not use this display much since I prefer an always-on display, but even then the battery life on this sucker was still really good. More on that later. My only beef with this thing was actually some damage that it took. I accidentally bumped it against a granite countertop in my kitchen, and it did sustain a little bit of damage. Not bad damage, but damage nonetheless. My last smartwatch, my Huawei Watch 2, I had for around 3 years, never nicked the screen. So the fact that I nicked this screen inside of 2 weeks is a little bit scary to me. I don't know if it was just bad luck or if it's something that is more indicative of the general wear and tear and durability of the device, but time will tell. We will see. If I need to edit this review later, I will put something down in the comments. I'm going to hope it's just a one-off, but I do have to mention it, and I do feel like I have to lower the grade a little bit because of that damage, so I'm going to go ahead and give the screen grade on this an A-. So the look and style of this watch is something that some people will appreciate and some people will not. It's black on black. Personally, I don't mind it. What it lacks in style, it makes up for in versatility. You can wear it out to dinner or to the gym. The stainless steel bezel is stylish enough, and while the watch overall is not too thick, I wouldn't exactly call it slim. The underside is plastic, but that doesn't seem to impact its military standard 810G rating or its IP68 water and dust resistance rating. So I'm fine with them using plastic as long as it keeps the weight and the cost down. Overall, the look of this watch is something that I don't mind. Like I said, I actually kind of like it because of its versatility. If you're looking for something more elegant looking, you might want to look elsewhere. Personally, I'm going to give it a B. And one other thing I just wanted to mention, and I didn't include this with the grade of the look and styling of this watch because they're replaceable, but I did want to mention the watch band. I love this watch band. I know some people have criticized it for feeling a little bit cheap or a little bit rubbery. That's because it is rubber, but it looks like leather. It's got real stitching around the edges, which I really like. It gives a look of leather, but it's got the durability of a rubber watch band, which I think is really a good combination and just contributes to the versatility of the watch. So now let's talk performance. And other than the dual screen technology that this watch has, performance is what really sets it apart from other Wear OS devices. The Snapdragon 4100 and the full gig of RAM in this thing is a huge upgrade over previous Wear OS efforts, and nowhere is this more important than when using the Google Assistant. What is the weather like in Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Currently in Hershey, it's 55 and clear.
When is Sean Connery's birthday?
Sean Connery was born on August 25th, 1930.
Who did you vote for?
I'll stay out of that. Voting is for people.
But it doesn't just end there. Opening apps, scrolling through your launcher, or scrolling through the Google Play Store, these are all a completely different experience on this device than our previous Wear OS devices. It's not perfect. There's still an occasional stutter here and there, but it's a huge improvement, and I'm going to go ahead and give performance on this thing a B. So the UI interface on this watch is pretty standard Wear OS with a fair amount of preloaded apps, all of which can be disabled should you choose. Most of the apps are Mobvoi health tracking and fitness apps, which we will talk about in a bit. It does have a custom Mobvoi launcher, but as far as I can tell, the only difference between it and the standard Wear OS launcher is the app scroll 2 at a time instead of 1 at a time. You can still disable that though if you want to. As you saw in the last segment, the speaker works pretty well and the mic seems to pick up my voice just fine when using the assistant on calls. My only real beef with the interface is that there's no rotating bezel or crown for scrolling like you see on a lot of smartwatches, but the improved performance still makes using this thing pretty painless, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a B. No smartwatch review would be complete without talking about fitness apps, and this watch comes with an intimidating amount of health tracking and fitness apps, and honestly, you probably won't use all of them. The good news is you can disable them, the ones that you don't want to use, and you can shortcut the rest, put them up in your favorites so you can get to them more easily. But how do you know which ones to use? Obviously, that will come to you with some trial and error. What I can tell you is that the fitness apps on this watch come in two general flavors: Google Fit apps and Tic apps, and both have their pros and cons. I think Google has the better fitness app due to the fact that it has way more preloaded exercises. It's also better for tracking because you probably already have a Google account to log in with, and that information will travel with you from device to device regardless of the brand. Where Google is weak is bio-tracking, and that is where the Tic apps have the advantage. While Google only has a heart monitoring app, there's a Tic app for heart monitoring as well as oxygen saturation as well as sleep tracking. The sleep tracking is a little hit and miss, but most nights it did the job pretty well. The oxygen saturation is a nice feature, especially for mask phobes. Also, you have to understand, in order to make the best use of the Mobvoi apps, you have to sign up for a Mobvoi account, which means you have another account and password that you have to keep track of. This is not surprising, but it's still something you need to be aware of. So overall, the fitness tracking and health apps on this watch are pretty good. They're not necessarily the best you're going to find out there, but for the vast majority of people, it'll get the job done, and I'm going to give the fitness grade on the smartwatch a B+. Last but not least, let's talk battery life. And the battery life on this watch is good. Not Huawei G2 Pro good, but good. I was able to milk 60 hours out of this thing with moderate use, and that's with the ambient display set to its brightest setting. Mobvoi claims that this watch can give you 3 to 5 days of battery life with the LCD ambient display turned on, and I actually think that might be a little bit of a conservative estimate. I could definitely see it going 5 days with that on, if not longer. When you do have to charge it, the dock works well enough, but it would be nice if it laid flat when you were using it. But in the morning, when I get in the shower and I top it off with a little bit of charge, I normally get about 12% on it, which is about what you'd expect. The battery life on this watch isn't the best you can get, but it's darn close, and I'm going to go ahead and give the battery rating on this thing an A-. So what is the overall grade of the TicWatch Pro 3? It's got a great screen, if you like them big, a versatile look, nice ease of use, solid fitness options, and great battery life. But what really sets this watch apart is its performance. Wear OS can now stand with Samsung and Apple in the wearables execution department, and this is a big deal because Wear OS works with all other Android devices. It's universal, so it doesn't matter what kind of smartphone you have today or what smartphone you're going to have tomorrow. A Wear OS smartwatch will work, as opposed to some other smartwatches which are designed specifically to work within certain ecosystems. I believe this is the best Wear OS smartwatch you can buy right now by probably a pretty wide margin, and I would even say it's probably one of the very best overall smartwatches of 2020. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close, and I'm going to give it an overall grade of a B+. Well, that's all the useful information I have today about the Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 3. What are your thoughts about this smartwatch? Would you consider getting a Wear OS smartwatch, even one like this one with its improved performance, or is that just something that's not on your radar? Let me know down in the comments. As always, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Rando Tech Info, signing out.